believer in destiny. Whenever something good happened, like I got a new bike, won a basketball match, or simply found a good movie to watch, I would say to myself, hey, destiny brought me that. But that was not always the case. During summer, many years ago, my family and I was deciding whether to go to Kauai or Hua Hin for our summer vacation. Being the kid who loves the beach, I steered for Hua Hin all the way. And once we got to Hua Hin, we again needed to make another decision between the swimming pool and the beach. Loving the sand and sun, of course I went to the beach. But once we got to the beach, my sister decided to go for a swim, and I went along with her. She swam further and further into the ocean, and not knowing any better, I swam after her. I swam as fast as my short 5-year-old leg could take me, but she still went further and further into the ocean ahead of me. Suddenly, a flash of unbearable pain struck me. I started screaming and crying in the middle of the ocean, and I thought to myself, why is this happening to me? Someone help me. At once, my sister quickly swam back and carried me ashore. I found out that my leg had just been cut by the sharp rocks of Hua Hin. A fresh spoon and salt, the pain was unbearable. I thought I could almost see my bone. So we quickly went to the hospital, and once we got there, the doctor asked whether or not I wanted to get it stitched. I was a 5-year-old girl in a pink swimming suit, screaming and crying, and I thought to myself, what kind of question was that? I don't need any more pain. What was the doctor thinking? Of course I said no. A fresh spoon and a needle stitch? No way. But then the doctor said if I didn't get it stitched, it was going to scar forever. So I thought about it and said, it's okay, I can live with it. So looking back on this incident today, I wondered why it happened. What was the reason for it? Was destiny the cause of my wound? I'm sure many of you may have had similar instances that made you wonder, was it destiny? The idea of destiny could be found in various places, and it had been debated on since the time of great Greek philosophers and even until now. There is a quote saying that everything happens for a reason from Marilyn Monroe. But according to Aristotle, one of the greatest philosophers of all time, he had an idea that everything happened because of not one, but many factors. Meaning that things happen because many of our past actions come together, get combined, and something new that will affect our present is created. Something new that will affect our present is created. Something new that will affect our present is created. But it was not just philosophers who considered destiny. So did science, but it just took on a different form. According to a scientific research from psycho-oncology, it is actually proven that as a cancer patient, positive progress is directly related to optimism. The word optimism here means that when a person thinks positive thoughts, positive things tend to happen to them. Well, when something unexpected happens, we call it destiny. And is it, in this case, optimism doing the same thing? According to this research, we could say that people actually have the power to turn the bad into good. Just like how a cancer patient believing that they'll get better, and they do. No matter how ridiculous the idea of optimism may sound. It was like in How I Met Your Mother, where they get people out of hangovers by giving them the green water, where the body believes that what it's taking in is actually helping them. We have the ability to take control of our lives and turn the bad into good. Turn the bad into good. People have the belief of destiny that when something happens, they get a tingly feeling in their fingertips, and their palms start to get sweaty, and their eyes full of hope, and their hearts start to race, and at that moment they know it, that this must be it must be destiny. There is no other explanation. Well, perhaps the reason for that is because everyone just needs to show their gratitude somewhere when something unexpected happens. Some of you may or may not agree with me about the existence of destiny. But I'm not saying that destiny doesn't exist, because even I'm still in love with the idea of destiny. But what I'm trying to say is that, does it really matter whether destiny exists or not? Life is like money from the tooth fairy when we're young. It may have gotten there because our parents put it there, or the tooth fairy. But does it really matter how it got there in the first place? I mean, you got the money after all. I understand that there are times when something happens and you just go to yourself, why does it need to happen? I wish I knew the reason. But once you got the opportunity, life, or the money from the tooth fairy, you now have the power to decide what you want to do with it next. You could spend it on something like an iPhone 6 or a new Prada bag, or you could just save it for a rainy day. No one else has the power to decide what happens next but you. You and only you can make that change. All you could say is, thank you for everything, no matter how it got there, and ask yourself, what do I want to do with it next? And is there any way that I could take this good fortune and pay it forward to help others who are more in need? Sure that something may not be good, like the scar I got from playing, or the money from, or a life-threatening thing like cancer. But it is our job to turn the bad into good. The most important thing in life is how we take on the different destinies, opportunities, life, or whatever you want to call it, and turn it into something even better. Is it possible to forget about the past because we can't do anything to change it now? Can we focus on the future because we all still have a long way to go? Can we make every decision without any regrets because at that moment you were the person who's deciding on it? So now, if I needed to think back to my swimming incident when I was young, I'm sure many of you maybe think that, hey, it was a mistake not getting the stitches. But they might be right, but I think I'm going to watch myself make a few more mistakes, because that's the only way I'm going to learn whether my choices were good or bad, even with the hindrance help of faith and destiny. Thank you.